Well, hello, hello, hello. Happy Thursday night. I'm Tia Nat, and I have this amazing gentleman as my special guest. We do this every Thursday night, but Dr. Michael Gross has such powerful messages for everybody that I'm going to go ahead and let him have a couple minutes to say hello, and then I'll introduce him properly, okay? Go
Thank
ahead,
you,
Michael.
everyone, for joining us. I appreciate it. I'm really excited about the subject of today, and that's living in the now. Lots of things for us to ponder, look at, and enhance our lives. So, thank you for joining us, and please remember to tell others to join us.
Perfect. Thank you. Dr. Michael Gross has been in the world of spirituality for the last 35 years. He's been studying many, many different aspects of it. And, he knows a lot about the soul, the oversoul, um, the frequencies and vibrations of our bodies and how we align with the universe. And he goes into so much detail when he talks about he had a wonderful manifestation workshop recently. He's also very knowledgeable in cellular release and everything that we possibly need to align with our soul and listen to the voice within us. So he's been, like I said, he's been doing this for over 35 years. He's a keynote speaker, professional keynote speaker. He's a transformational coach. He's my spiritual mentor and the mentor for many others. And he has so many people who he's helped along the way in the last 35 years plus that all I can say is I see these testimonials that he shares on his Facebook page. Please go to his Facebook page and read some of them, or better yet, go to Michael's YouTube channel because you can listen to all these Thursday night recordings that we do. And you can also listen to some of his really, really valuable 10-minute messages. And that's Dr. Michael B. Gross. I'll put all that contact information in the comments. But right now, I'd like to get right to the heart of the matter because Michael's time is valuable, and I know yours is too. So let's go ahead and rock and roll, Michael.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Thank you for joining us. Getting a little hoarse here, but not coming down with a cold, just getting a little hoarse. Could be allergy season. Well, I'd like to talk to you all about living in the now. And that means living in the moment. And really, what does that mean? It means putting blinders on, not looking left, not looking right, just looking straight ahead. And having the blinders on, that means that there are no distractions. In life, we have many distractions: family, friends, relatives. And sometimes we want to spend time for ourselves. And I talk to many people, and this happens to me every time I want a desire to get something done and I have some free time. Somebody calls, they're the problem, they need some help or whatever, and it kind of disrupts my day. But of course, I have pledged to be in service to others, so I do desire to help them. But there are times we need time for ourselves, time to spoil ourselves. We also need to figure out how we can program our day, set our intention so that we do our work. We're working with everybody, but there's time for me, meaning time for you. And whether it's just vegetating, just going outside and smelling the flowers, or watching the sun set or rise, or whatever it is. But living in the now means we're not comparing the past with the present. And of course, innately we are, because anytime if I say if you want an ice cream cone or food or whatever, specific kind of food, you'll go back, oh, I had that before, maybe 20 years ago. Yeah, we'll have that now. Or maybe you had a bad experience and you don't want that particular food, or maybe a relationship. But if we focus on the now, we add one little adjunct thought to that. And the adjunct thought is living in the now in joy. What does that mean? Finding something that makes your heart sing. Maybe it's I watch my dog sometimes play or run around. Or maybe I go outside and just I have bells when the wind blows and listen to the bells. Or maybe it's watching, I've got these little, um, I don't know what you call them, but when the wind blows, they have different ornaments and they blow in circles. And I have a couple of them and it's really beautiful.
Michael, those are wind chimes.
Well, they're not chimes, they just blow in the wind.
Oh, they're beautiful. I've seen them.
Yeah,
Sorry for interrupting, but they are so, so enlightening and peaceful.
exactly. So we are so not living in the now. We're so worried about different things, so worried about this and that. I got to get the laundry and I got to shopping, blah, 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 blah. that you don't have time for yourself. But now, living in the moment, which is the now, look for the little things that bring you joy. Just the little things. It could be, well, I got some free time and a friend asked me to do something and I can mail my letters. And then I take my dog with me in the car and he's looking around and having a good time. And I mail the letters and do a little errand. And then I look at the beautiful flowers. Now it's the springtime and listen to music or whatever makes me happy. Or maybe just sitting down and closing your eyes and imagining something that brings you joy. Because imagination is part of the art of manifestation. And then, therefore, you've heard me say this so many times, what you think you create, what you create, you experience. And think about that. So if you're just living in the moment, closing your eyes, feeling the warmth of the sun on you, just daydreaming, thinking about something when you were a child or something that brought you joy, and then you kind of drift off and you come back and you're full of energy and you relax. Isn't that so simple? The simplest things in life. And that's what our soul is asking us to do. Look for the simplest things in life. You got plenty of time to do exciting different things. But being alone with yourself, really, what does that do? Beginning to relax changes your hormones, your glands. And there's a heart and brain connection. So all emotions that you feel in your heart. You know, you heard that thing, my heart hurts. You're not having a heart attack, but it's emotion. And then it goes to the brain. And the brain begins to produce the hormones and glands and the physiological aspects of your body. You feel tired, you feel drained, you feel achy, so on and so forth. And once we understand that there's a combination of the heart and the brain, what other combinations are there in our life? The heart and stomach. Those are the three key areas in which we process energy, feel energy, and we can create chaos or love and joy and happiness. The most important thing we're being asked by our soul, stop worrying. And I tell everybody, listen, you wrote a script. In the script before you incarnated, wasn't to be homeless, destitute, broke, bankrupt, sick or ill. However, you created it in your life. Well, you're probably saying, why would I create something like that? That's my question. Why would you do that? And the answer is that you're disgusted, you're angry, and you're doing my way or the highway, or as we say, insistence creates resistance, and you're not open to the opportunities to bring you joy. So in your life, you need to have balance, sleep, happiness, some exercise, and also doing the things that bring you joy. That's what it's all about. And then if you stop and think about what brings you joy, some people, well, I have a lot of money, I'll be happy. Do you ever talk to those people and they have a lot of money? They spend a lot and then they say, I have to have more, I have to have more, I have to have more. They don't have any happiness. They think it'll bring happiness, but it really doesn't. The people financially who have mediocre incomes above the poverty levels have more joy in their life than those that are really wealthy. Yeah, they got these big, expensive $500,000, $500 million yachts and all that stuff. Do you ever think what it costs to own it, what it costs to run it, where your money's going? I mean, if that brings you joy, go for it. But the most important feelings is, if you have something that is expensive, can you walk away from it and give it away? And if you can't, then that owns you, that controls you, that manipulates you. And therefore, you can have no other joy because you have to hang on to this. Now, we all hang on to things, whether it's a piece of jewelry or a car or clothing or whatever. But by the very act of hanging on to something, seeking possession of it, you give up your independence and you become a slave to that particular item. As the true seller said, are you a slave of your fears or are you a master of your life? So much for you to think about. Tia, you wanted to say something.
I do. I know that you're talking about how when people are very wealthy and they have all this stuff, and you were talking about how money can own, how money can own you. What happens if you're holding on to things, that of sentimental value? Something that your parents owned and gave you.
Well, it's a good point. I just want to finish with the money thing. I want to
Okay.
talk about possessions as well. Possessions can own you. I have things that I need. I got to have it. Got to have it. Gee, I haven't used that in 5 years. I forgot all about it. So did it own me? Maybe, because I thought sometime I'll use it, but nah, I don't need it. I was recently talking to a friend and they go, "Oh my God, we're living here for 20 years. You know, all the crap we got to get rid of." I didn't realize we're hanging on to all this stuff because maybe I might use it. Well, 20 years went by, you didn't use it. So now's the time for you to decide, what are you going into your life to make your life easier, to make it easy and make your life more enjoyable, and get away from any of the fears and doubts that control you and own you. And as TU brought out, sentimental things. And a lot of us have sentimental things. I have a couple of things from my mother. I think I have two things from my mother that she had. It reminds me of her. But I will tell you the truth. My mother's in my heart and in my brain and in my emotions. The love of my mother. That's what I have. And the vase that I have that reminds me of her, and another vase, it's beautiful, but it doesn't replace the love that I have for her. And if it brings a sentimental value, go ahead. Why not? But there's such a thing as overdoing it. And that's what you have to decide. Are you overdoing it? Years ago when I got married, as Patrick Snow, a wonderful book coach, would say, "Hey, Michael, how did it feel to vote for Abraham Lincoln? You've been around so long." And I told him it was great. A little hard for George Washington, but Abraham Lincoln was easy. Just using that analogy. But think about that. Think about the things you hang on to. Does it own you and control you? The memory of your parents you will take with you when you birth out, and it's forever etched in your soul. The joy, the happiness, and some of the, say, trials and tribulations. But if we place a value on something that controls us and owns us, we have to ask, what does it accomplish? Why is it so important? The Native Americans always believed here that you never own the land. You take the land, you use it, and when you leave, put it back the way you found it and move on to something else. So they really never let anything own them. In other words, they went to their hunting grounds, their hunting fields. They were migratory and they knew where to be at the right time. And the whole tribe brought up the family. And of course, we talk about the Hawaiians and the Hawaiian families. The Hawaiian mothers brought up all the children. It was a community. It was one of fun and joy and happiness. Somehow or another, we've let life control us. We've given up our freedom. We've forgotten how to have love and joy and happiness. As we look around, and I look around, some of my friends, they're so busy with their children, and bless them. And then they're talking about they're going to go away to college. What am I going to do? And of course, we call that the empty nest syndrome. And then a husband and wife have to rediscover themselves and realize through the years they've lost contact. Whereas the others, some, very few, do take care of their children. But on the other hand, too, is they spend time with their spouses. They do as much as they can to create a family. And that's so important. But we look at our younger children today. They are entitled. They think everything should be for them. Excuse me. Excuse me. Old stupid stition. We say you sneeze on the truth. So I'll go back to that. But we've forgotten our children to teach them responsibility. We spoil them because we, in our own wonderful knowledge, thought we suffered. But we turned around, and when you learn to be self-sufficient, and you learn that at a young age, then you, excuse me, then you learn how to survive. In my businesses, I had business when my children wanted money. So no problem, work in the stores. You can do some basic stuff. And they did, and they got money, and I paid them whatever the going rate was, wage was. And they learned how to control the money, and they learned the value of money. And then I was talking to my son. He said, Dad, that's what you taught me. That's what I'm teaching my children, the same thing. They're learning about the value of money. That's such a great gift when you learn the value of anything and you appreciate it. And if they bought a bicycle or what, remember you bought something, you treated it like it was precious, it was priceless, and you took care of it. Then a lot of kids get a gift, they don't care, they wreck it, we'll get a new one. That's it, I don't care. So living in the now means reestablishing your value system. What is your value system? Because you see, your children are looking at you. They're observing you. And by osmosis, as they say, they absorb some of your behaviors and what you do. And then they pass it on. But they talk about every fourth generation. They go back to basics. And there's something that's going to misquote me. And the man said, I walk to work when I went to work. And now my son, when he goes to school, he drives a Mustang. And my other son now drives a BMW. And my grandson now has a Porsche. And his grandson's going to end up walking to work again, because we're going to learn a value system. Once we learn we spoil ourselves or our children, they have learned nothing, and we have to go back to basics. So living in the now is looking at everything is a gift. Everything is a gift. It's powerful. If you look at something didn't work out, I failed and didn't work. Remember, True Source told me failure means success. You learn what worked and didn't work. But if you look at everything, success, and you're growing and learning, then you're never a failure. You never live in fear, because you always know there's another way out. There's another solution. And the solution is up to you. We hear about people that are poor and they're homeless, and they desire to be that for whatever reason, and they need help and they need love and compassion. But they also need to be taught self-worth, self-love, and self-esteem, and that they can accomplish something. Or we look at so-called racism today, or whatever it is, and people live in poverty because there's racism. No, they choose to live that way because that's the belief system. We'll never get anywhere because people are racist against us, blah, blah, blah. We look at a huge amount of minorities. There are always a certain number that are very successful because they don't believe it. Living in the now means I can achieve anything. I can do anything. I'm unlimited. I'm not going to think about what happened in the past that was limited. I'm only about thinking about the things that bring me joy, happiness, and success. Even if it's riding a bicycle, even if it's playing tennis or soccer or volleyball, whatever it is, you became a success at that. And that's the lesson in life, living in the now. It means you are recreating your life every second, every moment in your life. You're recreating it. Every millisecond you're doing it. And that's what you need to understand. Your reality becomes your belief. And that belief can change like the wind and can blow at 5 miles an hour or 100 miles an hour. You could go at 1 mile an hour or 1,000 miles an hour and achieve anything you so desire. Because as we are now in the age of Aquarius, your whole belief system is changing. The whole political system is changing. And the whole world is beginning to look at things. And the most important thing is, what if we had a recession and everybody was out of work? How would you survive? Well, we know the government will help you. But look at what they did, how they improvised and what they did. We were kind of poor growing up. And so I had a lettuce and tomato sandwich, white bread with mayonnaise. Well, we didn't have refrigeration. We got there, it was soggy. The bread stuck to the roof of your mouth, but you ate it. You didn't complain because that's what you had. You didn't know any better. And after a while, you became fond of it. Or you had peanut butter and jelly or whatever, basic foods. And that was great. And remember, your parents would serve you. I don't want to eat this. Good. Starve. Or they make you sit there till you ate it. you learn discipline. You learn that you have to go along with what things are doing, making sacrifices. What is the sacrifice by not eating it? Nothing. What is the sacrifice to eat it? You help your body. You feed the fuel in your body. You learn value systems. You learn to accept and you appreciate every little thing. And so this is what is occurring to the age of Aquarius. It's a new belief system. It's a new way of understanding. It's a new way of realizing that I am in control. I am the major manifester. I am the major creator of my life. And because I am, I'm living in the now and each moment creating that joy that gives me happiness and success in my life. How are we doing on time to you?
You have another 5 minutes or so.
Okay, good. So all of you, I want all of you to understand. When I talk about you are unlimited, when I talk about being out of control is to be in control, giving you choices of life and seeing the beauty and the positivity in every little thing, your life will change. And it's so important for you to know that it is changing and you can be successful if you so desire, because there are no limitations except those that you've created in your mind. And the mind is an awesome thing. It can create the love and joy and happiness, or it can create adversity and depression. Think about this message. Think about living in the now, choosing those things that give you joy, and laugh. You know, when I was in the nursing home business, I had my night cook there, and her name is Paula. And I heard her laughing, and I said, Paula, what's so funny? She said, you know, Michael, when I get angry or disgusted, I give a phony go, ha, 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 ha. And after a while, I start to really laugh. And then the anger goes away. And then I feel happy, and my body relaxes. How wise a woman she is. So very wise. And, you know, she invited me up to her house one time because she lived near the nursing home. And she said, I want to show you something in my bedroom. My husband passed away, and this is what he painted on the ceiling. There were stars and planets and rocket ships. And when she opened up the blind and the moon shone, the whole ceiling glowed. And I said, wow, how romantic, how loving this man was, how blessed you are. She said, yeah, I really miss him. And it was a wonderful thing for her to share to me, because it showed me the love he had for her and the imagination they had for each other of feeling joy and happiness. So life is so simple. Just painting that on the ceiling and every night looking up at it when the moon was shining or you turned a little light on and you imagined yourself in the stars with your beloved, just happy and singing and floating away. Simple things create joy. For that, I'm going to leave you with this thought. And the thought is, as usual, you are unlimited. Live in the now and recreate your life. So thank you. I would like to also share with you that, as you know, every Saturday night from 7 to 7:30 p.m., we have what we call the Words of Wisdom, which I'm sharing with you. And I ask you to invite all your friends, come on down, share this YouTube, Dr. Michael B. Gross with it. Watch the replays, listen to the messages, and listen to them over again to see if it really applies to you, because it does. Also, I want to share with you that on every Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. Pacific time to 7:30 Pacific time, something that is dear to my heart is called Soul Awakening. Ask any question you want about spirituality. Hopefully, I can answer it. And those who say, oh, I already know all that stuff, maybe, but you've forgotten it. I've been at this for over 35 years. I still am learning new things all the time. All the time. And if we can spend 1 hour a day learning new things, feeling joy and happiness, and I deliver a 10-minute message, what have you got to lose? What is the cost? 1 hour of time to bring you joy and happiness. And then on the second Saturday every month, I do what is called Mass Consciousness Healing, giving up 1 hour from 9:55 a.m. to 11:01 a.m. talk for a few minutes, and then we bring through this unconditional energy of love that touches you and the planet. And of course, I want to offer all of you a 30-minute consultation, complimentary. Not going to sell you anything. At the end, I'll just say, is there any other way I can help you? And it's your choice. Take advantage of it. So let us get back to the Tuesday evening from 6:30 to 7:30. And that's on freeconferencecall.com. So you can be in your pajamas. I'll never know. And give them that information.
Absolutely, Michael. I'm going to backtrack for a minute. You were talking about the woman that showed you that beautiful ceiling that her husband painted. The sun came out at the very same time that you were sharing that story. It had been gray here and a little bit on the dark side, and all of a sudden the sun just came breaking through the clouds. What a beautiful message you just shared. That's why my face is pale, because of the sun. And it's so beautiful. And being in the now and feeling the warmth of it on my face is incredible. So back to the Tuesday night call that you can actually do in your pajamas. We won't know. You can be a fly on the wall and not even open your mouth. But dialing, it's so valuable when you do. It's 202-926-1059. And the access code, Michael?
125-446-pound.
One more time.
Please.
202-926-1059. And the code, Michael?
125-446-pound. Using the same telephone number, the same code, the second Saturday of every month, 9:55 a.m. to 11:01, the Mass Consciousness. By the way, if you tune in a little late and you hear silence, it's because we're meditating. I'll know you have joined and add to the energy for you to assist us. Tio, give them that information again.
That Mass Consciousness healing number is also 202-926-1059. And the code, Michael?
125-446-pound. Same one, identically. Now, on Tuesday evening, when we do the Soul Awakening, that's also on freeconferencecall.com. And 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. Ask any words or any thoughts about spirituality. Listen to the message. Do you give them that access code and telephone number?
The access code to the recorded calls is 434-300-4170. And the code, Michael?
125-446-pound. To you, that's them to listen to it. I was calling the words of the Soul Awakening telephone number. That's okay. No, you're fine. You're fine. So everyone, she's going to give that number again. Those are recorded messages, and it starts at number 3 to 368-69. They're not labeled, so don't worry about it, because I don't want to read through 368, 369 labels. So all I would do is use your intuition. I think I'll listen for number 247. I don't know what that is. And you go, boy, it's just what I needed to hear. So to you, one more time, share that number.
I must be out of my body, huh?
Yes.
Okay. The recorded calls are 434-300-4170. And the access code, Michael?
125-446-pound. And just realize on those numbers, whatever it is, trust your soul to pick the right number. If you're mad, you're angry, upset, stuck in traffic, put it on your phone or put it on your car, whatever, and listen to it. It's not going to distract you. They're only 10 to 12 minutes long, but they're very informative. So I wanted to share that with all of you. Well, I want to thank all of you for joining me, and to you, and for giving up your time. And I want to talk about this. This is Tia's book, Healing the Holes in Your Soul. It's all about a woman who, like the mythical love bird, the phoenix rising from the ashes. It's about hope. It's about joy. It's about abuse. It's about finding yourself and your true path. This is a great book to read. And I know the guy that wrote the foreword, he did a fairly good job.
You're so humble, Michael. And what a beautiful, thank you so much for your kind words. And I highly recommend that all of you start with this book. This is written by Dr. Michael Gross, and in it are an incredible amount of golden nuggets. I won't go into the golden nuggets, but because of this book and this gentleman sitting virtually next to me, that book would not be in existence if it wasn't for his help. He kicked me in the tush, as verbally you could say, and encouraged me to share my story when I was a mess, and I did. And because of that, we're out there, we're sharing, and we're helping other people awaken their souls, because that's what it's all about. Right, Michael, it's all about giving unconditional love and sharing the voices, sharing what we feel inside. Because like you said earlier, materiality you can't take with you. You only take with you the love that you have in your heart and how you share it in this world. So thank you so much for this beautiful book. I've shared it again. This last week I've been giving it away so happily, and people have just squealed with delight that they have it in their hands. So on that note, Michael, I get a little bit mushy sometimes because of how much you've changed my life. You have brought me forward into a world where I dreamt about being, but I never thought I'd get to. And here I am doing the things that you teach me, you guide me, and I share that with other people. And that's what we're doing, Michael. We're creating a ripple of love, unconditional love that's going to wrap around the world in so many beautiful ways. So definitely, if you've never talked to Michael, take him up on his complimentary consultation. Go to his YouTube channel, Dr. Michael B. Gross. Make sure you put the B in there. Otherwise, you'll get somebody else. Right, Michael?
Absolutely. You get a chance, check out my website, and it's drmichaelgross.com. A lot of things to share with you. And just remember, it's not the Dr. Michael Gross, the urologist. It's Dr. Michael Gross. There is one with that name. So I kind of chuckle and share that. Everyone, I wish you a wonderful day, a happy day, and be with us next week when we have more stories, more information to share with each one of you, because you are unlimited. We love you. Namaste.
Namaste.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you, Michael.